As a woman of 40, I find myself in a peculiar position, significantly older than my sister, who, at 25, remains eternally ensconced in the tender embrace of youth. Yet, instead of basking in the fond recollections of my own childhood, I find my past overshadowed by the specter of parental favoritism, a disconcerting pattern that emerged with the arrival of my sister. Indeed, I became unwittingly ensnared in the intricate web of parentification, my role abruptly transmuted into that of a surrogate caretaker, my cherished mementos discarded in favor of their utility in a second childhood. The scars of this familial discord run deep, permeating the very fabric of my being, and manifesting in a profound unease at the prospect of familial gatherings, a visceral reminder of the neglect I endured in the formative years of my youth. It is a trauma that has left an indelible mark upon my psyche, rendering me ill at ease in the presence of children, whose very existence serves as a poignant reminder of my own childhood tribulations. Thus, when my sister extended an invitation to partake in her nuptial festivities, I found myself ensnared in a web of conflicting emotions. On the one hand, a desire to partake in her joyous celebration warred with an acute sense of trepidation at the prospect of confronting my childhood demons. It was a delicate balancing act, one fraught with the weight of unresolved grievances and unspoken resentments. Yet, as discussions turned to the logistics of the event, it became painfully apparent that my sister's vision for her special day diverged markedly from my own. Her insistence on including young children in the wedding party struck a dissonant chord within me, evoking memories of past slights and perceived injustices. It was a betrayal that cut to the core, a poignant reminder of the chasm that divided us, both past and present. In a moment of profound vulnerability, I voiced my concerns to my sister, imploring her to reconsider her stance. Yet, her response, tinged with a palpable sense of regret, served only to deepen my sense of isolation. It was a bitter pill to swallow, a stark reminder of the familial rift that threatened to engulf us both. Faced with an untenable choice, I sought solace in the only outlet available to me, a plaintive cry for understanding amidst the cacophony of familial discord. Yet, even as the words spilled forth in a torrent of emotion, I could not have foreseen the chain reaction they would unleash. Now, as the dust settles and the fallout becomes clear, I find myself cast in the role of the unwitting catalyst, the harbinger of familial strife. And yet, amidst the chaos and recriminations, a small voice within me dares to hope, to believe that perhaps, in the crucible of adversity, a path towards reconciliation may yet emerge. While I understand your longing to reconnect with your grandmother and family, it seems that a narrative of resentment and entitlement has clouded your judgment. It is imperative to recognize that familial dynamics are often shaped by economic realities rather than intentional slights. Indeed, the distribution of hand-me-downs, while perhaps emblematic of a larger familial dynamic, does not in itself constitute parentification. Furthermore, it is crucial to approach such familial complexities with nuance and understanding, rather than resorting to public denunciations and character assassinations. Your sister's decision to proceed with her wedding plans in light of your discomfort does not warrant such public censure, but rather a respectful acknowledgement of differing priorities and perspectives. In considering your grievances, it is worth reflecting on whether your feelings stem from a genuine sense of trauma or from a deeper sense of insecurity and jealousy. Indeed, the transition from being the sole focus of familial attention to sharing that spotlight can evoke complex emotions, but it is essential to approach such feelings with honesty and introspection. As you navigate the complexities of familial relationships, I urge you to seek solace in open and honest communication, rather than succumbing to the temptation of public spectacle. Ultimately, it is through empathy, understanding, and mutual respect that true reconciliation and healing can be achieved. In observing the familial dynamics concerning my sister-in-law, Daisy, I find myself perturbed by the lack of foresight regarding her financial future. While she is undoubtedly competent in her professional endeavors, her reliance on her parents for financial support raises concerns, particularly in light of their advancing age. Daisy's propensity for unnecessary expenditures, such as lavish tech upgrades and cosmetic indulgences, only exacerbates these apprehensions. Moreover, the casual remarks from my in-laws regarding her future living arrangements, seemingly devoid of any concrete financial planning, only serve to underscore the gravity of the situation. While I recognize the delicate nature of intervening in familial affairs, I cannot help but feel compelled to advocate for a more proactive approach to Daisy's financial well-being. The notion of her being solely reliant on inheritance without any strategic planning for sustainable independence troubles me deeply. It is evident that Daisy's current trajectory is unsustainable, and without intervention, she risks facing significant challenges in the future. As such, I believe it is incumbent upon us, as concerned family members, to engage in constructive dialogue aimed at formulating a viable financial plan that prioritizes her long-term stability and independence. In expressing these sentiments, I do not seek to overstep boundaries or dictate the course of Daisy's life. Rather, my intention is rooted in a genuine concern for her well-being and a desire to ensure that she is equipped with the resources and support necessary to navigate life's uncertainties with resilience and autonomy. I believe it would be prudent for you to assert that you do not intend to assume financial responsibility for your sister-in-law once your father-in-law and mother-in-law have passed away. It is evident that your sister-in-law's current situation is a consequence of being excessively enabled throughout her life. Your mother-in-law's tendency to speak of her daughter in a manner befitting a child, despite her age, is indicative of the underlying issue. Your sister-in-law's prolonged dependence on her parents has stunted her growth and development, leaving her ill-prepared for adulthood. It is imperative that this matter be addressed promptly with your husband. Allowing a grown individual to mooch off your resources and disrupt your household is unacceptable. Your husband must convey your concerns to his parents without delay, emphasizing the need for your sister-in-law to take responsibility for her own future. Regarding your situation with your sister, it appears that you have both found yourselves unexpectedly pregnant, albeit under different circumstances. While your sister is grappling with health complications and job insecurity, you have been able to navigate your pregnancy with more stability despite its initial shock. Your proactive approach in seeking shared medical care and offering support to your sister during this challenging time is commendable. However, it is essential to maintain boundaries and prioritize your own well-being and that of your growing family. While it is natural for siblings to bond over shared experiences, it is equally important to ensure that your needs are met and that you do not neglect your own journey to accommodate others. As you navigate this delicate situation, continue to communicate openly with your sister and extend your support where possible. However, remember to assert your own needs and boundaries, particularly as you embark on this transformative journey of motherhood. The constant presence of my boyfriend during my sister's pregnancy became a source of contention. My sister, experiencing discomfort, suddenly lashed out, attributing my actions to a desire for undue attention. Accusations of narcissism and lack of empathy ensued, leaving me bewildered and in tears, as such sentiments had never surfaced before. The subsequent intervention of our parents and my boyfriend led to a heated exchange, culminating in our departure. In the aftermath, my sister conveyed her grievances through a lengthy message, painting me as the epitome of entitlement and privilege, labeling me as the golden child. She posited that my pregnancy was a deliberate ploy to monopolize attention, accusing me of trivializing her struggles. Communication channels were abruptly severed as she blocked further discourse. Conflicted, I sought solace in my boyfriend's counsel, who advocated for the dismissal of my sister's accusations. Yet, his suggestion to involve our parents in resolving the conflict seemed incongruous with our ages, prompting reflections on the maturity requisite for independent conflict resolution. However, amidst the discord, an alternative perspective emerged. Questions surrounding my sister's financial predicament, coupled with implications of deliberate pregnancy, illuminated the complexity of our dynamic. The specter of jealousy, lingering since childhood, cast shadows on the sincerity of my actions. In dissecting this familial rift, nuances of sibling rivalry and perceived favoritism came to the fore, challenging preconceived notions of innocence and culpability. As the dust settles, introspection beckons, urging a deeper understanding of the intricacies that define our relationships. The contrast in childhood experiences between the original poster and her stepdaughter is stark, undoubtedly leading to divergent perspectives. The original poster, at 48 years old, recounts the intricacies of her relationship with her husband's daughters, particularly the eldest, aged 19. Having met her husband 8 years ago and married him 6 years ago, she's navigated the complexities of a family dynamic shaped by divorce and unique social challenges. The divorce, A central narrative in her stepdaughter's storytelling often casts the original poster's husband in an unfavorable light. While acknowledging the truth in these anecdotes, the original poster is adamant about shielding her husband's reputation from undue scrutiny, especially during family gatherings. Yet, her attempts to temper her stepdaughter's discourse face resistance, met with accusations of overstepping boundaries. During a recent gathering, tensions flared as the stepdaughter recounted a sensitive anecdote about her father. The original poster intervened, expressing her exasperation at the repetition of such narratives, only to be confronted by her stepdaughter's mother, who asserted her authority in managing her daughter's behavior. In reflecting on the confrontation, the original poster grapples with the question of propriety. Was her intervention justified, stemming from repeated discussions on the matter, or did it transgress the boundaries of her role within the family dynamic? The responses she receives are varied. Some condemn her actions as an intrusion into her stepdaughter's autonomy, arguing that her discomfort does not warrant censorship of the stepdaughter's narrative. Others sympathize with her desire to protect her husband's image but caution against imposing her will on an adult stepchild. In navigating the complexities of familial relationships, the original poster finds herself at a crossroads, grappling with her desire to preserve her husband's reputation while respecting her stepdaughter's autonomy and right to self-expression. As the saga unfolds, it underscores the intricacies of blended families and the delicate balance between protecting one's loved ones and honoring individual agency. The atmosphere surrounding the forthcoming formal event is fraught with tension as familial disputes over attire threaten to overshadow the occasion. The crux of the matter revolves around a dress, a coveted garment that symbolizes more than just fabric and thread. It embodies a clash of values, expectations, and personal histories. The protagonist finds herself at the center of this sartorial saga, her generosity tested by the persistent requests of her step-cousin Jen. Growing up in disparate economic circumstances, Jen's plea for the protagonist's latest acquisition underscores her desire for novelty, for a semblance of parity in a world where she has long felt disadvantaged. In a moment of defiance, the protagonist rebuffs Jen's request, asserting her right to wear the dress she painstakingly selected for the event. Her refusal is met with disappointment and dissent, as Jen and her father lobby for what they perceive as a gesture of fairness in an otherwise unequal exchange. Yet, beneath the surface lies a deeper truth, one that transcends the fabric of a dress. It is a narrative of resilience, of resourcefulness, and of self-reliance, epitomized by the protagonist's journey from hand-me-downs to financial independence. Jen's plight, while poignant, is not solely the protagonist's burden to bear but a reflection of broader systemic inequalities and parental responsibilities. As the dispute escalates, familial allegiances are tested, with the protagonist's parents rallying to her defense. Their support is not merely a validation of her ownership rights but a reaffirmation of the values they instilled in her: a commitment to fairness, to self-determination, and to the sanctity of personal belongings. Amidst the discord, a poignant lesson emerges: compassion tempered by boundaries, empathy balanced with self-preservation. The protagonist's reluctance to yield to Jen's demands is not an act of callousness but a recognition of her own agency, her right to prioritize her own desires without guilt or reproach. In the aftermath of the confrontation, as tempers cool and wounds begin to heal, the protagonist emerges not as an antagonist but as a guardian of her own autonomy, a beacon of resilience in a sea of familial discord. And though the dress may remain a point of contention, its significance pales in comparison to the bonds of kinship tested yet ultimately unbroken.